out our new sponsor, the Health Blaze. All the information is in the description. Use the promo code above. Goodfellow Unboxing at 18% off of all their natural products from deodorant, pomade, toothpaste, and much, much more. And they have additional discounts on their website as well. That's thehealthblaze.com. Starting December 20th. That promo code is good for 18% off. We go. All right. I predicted this. Colin Kaepernick withdraws, from his collusion case against the NFL. Let's talk about it, and I'll tell you why. Don't believe it nowhere else. Let's come out of his voice, but I'm going to tell you why. But blessings to all the brothers and sisters out there, man. Peace, all that good stuff, man. Don't forget to check out our sponsor, the Health Blaze, at thehealthblaze.com. Promo code Goodfellow Unboxing. Get you 18% off their all-natural products, lotion, soaps, foot soaks, bath bombs, toothpaste, deodorant, and much, much more. Head over to the Health Blaze, get that 18% off with that promo code, and website are in the description. But pretty much in the collusion case, everything was going to be released. Phone records, text messages from the owners, everything they said about Colin Kaepernick from emails and stuff of that nature. So it was in the NFL's best interest to give Colin Kaepernick a lucrative payday. So he's pulling out because he got paid. And I think it may be north of $100 million or somewhere in that neighborhood. Could be almost $1 billion. You know what I'm saying? It's money that's he'll be able to retire off of. And yeah, he'll never play in the NFL again. It's a wrap. So you want to make sure you get that bread. But the reason, and I always say it's exception to the rule, and the reason why I don't mind him taking this money is because it didn't matter. The only thing this was going to prove was that how racist, and we already know how racist and how the bigotry that's already in the NFL, okay, with the owners. All it was going to expose what we already knew about Jerry Jones and Stephen Ross and what you think about Jeffrey Lurie. Only guy that really had a lot to lose here was Robert Kraft, okay? Robert Kraft claims to be with Meek Mill, Jay-Z, claimed to be with them, and also he voted for Donald Trump. So it would have really exposed a guy like Robert Kraft who trying to really play both sides if you don't really read. And if he would have said something in one of those emails or text messages that had bigotry in there, then, then we would have seen what would Meek really do in my Pusha T voice, okay? So it was in the NFL's best interest to pay Colin Kaepernick. Let's kind of rewind and how did this happen? Pretty much they formed a players coalition, Kaepernick, Eric Reed, Malcolm Jenkins from the Eagles, and a few other players. And what happened was, the owners called the players in, and they was trying to sit down and see what was going, how can they come to an agreement, to help the society, with the situation. But they got there, or the injustice they was kneeling against and standing against. They got there. The owners wanted to say, pretty much buy them out and stop kneeling. Kaepernick, Eric Reed, and them say no. They got Malcolm Jenkins in the room. They paid him. Allegedly, they paid him a whole bunch of money to stop kneeling and get the players in the coalition to follow suit. And they asked how much money it take for y'all to stop kneeling and stuff. Kaepernick, Eric Reed, and the rest of the coalitions, started calling Malcolm Jenkins a sellout. So that's when it started right there, when the owners tried to pay the players to stop kneeling and stuff. Long story short, Kaepernick got blackballed out the league. He went to a collusion case. They started getting text messages, emails, phone records together, and he was going to win. He was going to win the collusion case regardless. It was going to abolish the collective bargaining agreement in CBA. And they would have had to immediately come to a new CBA agreement. NFL already has some in their back pocket. They are ready to stop marijuana testing in the NFL, but they want some concessions to be made from the NFL Players Association, which is one of the worst unions you will ever see, maybe the biggest and the worst union of all time. And I tell you guys how all that works into with Colin Kaepernick taking the money. So pretty much the CBA would have been abolished. They would have had to come with a new collective bargaining agreement. The players consistently and always get fucked out of the collective bargaining agreement. They don't get no concessions. Last time they got two padded practices a day took out. Less practices will lead to more injuries for, the NFL to get a larger percentage of the pie. Okay? So they gave less practices up. They got less practices for a larger percentage of the pie. Now, the NFL brings in 75% more than NFL. Okay? It brings in 75% more, but the NBA players get 200% more than NFL players. And they conceded that, for less practices, which means more injuries, soft tissue injuries, Achilles, ACL, hammies, all types of stuff. So they really hurt each other. They lost. You know what I'm saying? So they lost. So at the end of the day, this is where it all ties in together. Colin Kaepernick knew if they abolished the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement, that the players was going to agree to a weaker deal, okay? They were going to agree to a weaker deal, okay? And at the end of the day, we was going to be right back where we was at before. The players didn't have Colin Kaepernick back when he was kneeling for an injustice. Only time they kneeled with him, other than a few guys like Brandon Marshall, Kenny Stills, Ed Reed, was when Donald Trump called them SOBs, whatever like that. And what it also would have came out before I get to my gist of my stuff is that those owners had contact with Donald Trump, okay, and they probably was agreeing with Donald Trump in those text messages and those emails. So pretty much, Colin Kaepernick knew even if I won this collusion case, we weren't gonna gain no ground. The players didn't have my back before. You know what I'm saying? They still was gonna go back to the table, take weaker deals. You say, oh, why would the players take weaker deals? The reason they took one before because they're living paycheck to paycheck like everybody else. Yeah, okay, you got some stars that's getting money, they got some endorsements, but for the most part, the majority of the NFL players are living paycheck to paycheck. James Harrison said it on Undisputed with Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Also, Eric Reed's going to get paid too, it looked like. Even though he signed a 3-year contract with the Panthers. He settled his case as well too. It just popped up on the screen. But that's what it is. He knew the players are going to agree to another week CBA. They're going to concede to get marijuana testing taken out the game. So he took his money. You know, he probably got north of $100 million. I was telling Town Business, I was like, damn, he probably can get $1 billion out of those owners. If he didn't get over $100 million or close to $500 million, he's a fool. Because all that stuff that would have leaked out about those owners, it would decapitate the NFL. It would have decapitated. The NFL would have ceased to be no more. No matter how good the product is. The last 2 Super Bowls bombed their ratings. And all those emails that would have came out from Jerry Jones, no matter how big of a Dallas Cowboy fan you were. Jeffrey Lurie, no matter how big of a Eagles fan you were. Robert Kraft would have had the most to lose. No matter how big of a New England Patriot fan, Stephen Ross, Dolphin fan you are, as a black person, or even as a white Mexican person, hey man, the NFL would have been bad. So they always were going to submit to Colin Kaepernick. It's just about how far he was willing to go and how much money he was willing to take. And people say, we was in it for the money. At the end of the day, hey, get your money. It's always exceptions to the rule. Because those players, even if the collusion would have broke down, those players would not have backed Colin Kaepernick. They would have been mad because the league would have been done. It would have tanked. It would have been like the NHL lockout, the blow they would have took. At the end of the day, even if it didn't, it came down to the CBA and people was able to overlook what actually came out, the CBA still would have been in the owner's favor. The player still wouldn't have got guaranteed contract. The player still would have probably made 75%, 200% less, 150% less than NBA players, even though the NFL rates in 75% more money. Real talk, he just, it was worth his while. He took it as far as he gonna take it. He know he'd never play in the NFL again. And the players wasn't gonna have his back. They would have blamed him for them being out of work. And they would have came back, did a joint statement with the owner. Yes, sir. Steve, Jerry Jones didn't mean that to call me a boy in that email. They would have came and said that, Robert Kraft, he didn't mean it. They would have came back and kissed the owner's ass. They did a PR stunt to try to save the league. But at that point, they would have came to the CBA, had another whack CBA, and everything Kaepernick would have done would have been in vain. That's just what it is. That's the lowdown. If Kaepernick had went on this collusion case and all this was exposed, yes, the NFL would have broke down. Yes, it would have crumbled. Yes, the players and the owners would have come together and do public service announcements to say the face of the league. But guess what? At the end of the day, the players still would be getting fucked in on the money end. The collective of bargaining would still be in the owners' hands. It didn't really matter. It didn't matter at all. It didn't matter at all. They didn't stand with him when they didn't kneel with him when it was time for social injustice, and they didn't fall with him. You know what I'm saying? And then if he came in the Boston CBA so they get a better deal, they would have let him down again and got a lopsided deal in the owner's favor again. So it didn't really matter. Get your money, retire, and just go sip some mojitos in the shade, man. But hey, it's Goodfellas Sports TV. I appreciate everybody checking in. Make sure to subscribe button, bell icon button. Appreciate it. Man, much love to the brothers and sisters out there. And don't forget, we on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can reach out to the email. We got a Facebook group. Just hit me up. You got business question inquiry or video requests, don't forget to check out our sponsor, The Hellblaze, at thehellblaze.com. Promo code Goodfella1Box to get you 18% off their all-natural products, lotion soaps, foot soaps, bath bombs, and much, much more. Website, promo code in description. If you want to make a donation to the channel, that link's always in the description as well. You can do me one better, just share the videos. I'll link the article in the link. I'll link an article in the link proving this story to be factual. Appreciate it. Goodfella Sports.